I've never faced anything like this. Let them come.
Now, this is everything you need to know before watching Transformers Rise of the Beast, being the 7th film of the Transformers franchise, a follow-up to 2018's Bumblebee, so prior to the events of Ladies Man 217, and his failed attempt to keep a supermodel girlfriend.
You break up with one world-class hottie,
No, happier
the second
person.
beautiful
Why
girl,
don't you
you
help me?
loser. You're not gonna get a third one. I mean, unless you have like a big...
What the?
The newest installment, we go into new territory, a more beastly and primal era, and I'm not talking about Optimus Prime. A new face in the director's seat, Stephen Cable Jr., responsible for Creed 2, takes the adaptation of the animated series of the 90s, Beast Wars, and a more adverse Autobot team, not the leader we're familiar with Optimus from the Michael Bay films, but more a fish out of water trying to get back home. Rise of the Beast takes place in 1994, and our beloved team of Autobots faced against their predatorial descendants, the Maximals, the Predecons, and the Terrorcons. We're gonna get a whole new set of toys and merchandise from Hasbro.
Alright, start the show.
With the New York into the Transformers franchise, the timeline has now been jacked.
Timeline's wrong.
So a quick recap of Bumblebee. On the planet Cybertron, the Autobots are at war with the Decepticons. Autobot B-127, aka Bumblebee, escapes into Earth and crash lands into California. He is ambushed by Decepticon Blitzwing, who tears out his voice box. Bumblebee defeats Blitzwing and escapes, disguised as the 1967 VW Beetle. They also have a run-in with the military, led by WWE star In 1987, Charlie, a trainee mechanic, discovers a rundown yellow Beetle in a junkyard, turns on the radio, giving away Bumblebee's location to the Decepticons,
That's B-127's signal.
which brings more Decepticons to Earth. They play the part of the good guy, acting under Sector 7. Charlie brings the Beetle home, which then comes alive, turning into Bumblebee. Also, the nosy neighbor appears, Memo, who then turns into Charlie's sidekick.
Guy in the chair.
They learn to communicate with the giant Robo-Sapien, and then teach it how to vandalize. Almost a Mr. Bean movie, until the team are intercepted and Bumblebee is captured by Sector 7, led by the Decepticon, Shatter and Dropkick, who are in search for Optimus Prime.
Tell us where Optimus Prime is hiding.
Charlie comes to the rescue, but is late to the party, watching the death of B by the hands of the Decepticons. But all you need is some magic fairy dust,
You think you can bring him back to life with that pixie dust?
Absolutely.
or in this case, a pulse gun, to revive him back to life. They escape Sector 7's outpost and pursue after Shatter and Dropkick, who are on the radio tower sending a signal to the other Decepticons. B infiltrates the uplink and destroys the Decepticon in true Transformer fashion. Charlie and B say their goodbyes, and the VW Beetle transforms into a 1977 Chevrolet Camaro.
No way.
Optimus Prime arrives, and the Autobot team is just growing. Rise of the Beast dwells into new territory from the Transformers verse, bringing the iconic team from the 90s cartoon series Beast Wars, with the introduction of the Maximals, the Predecons, the Terrorcons into the mix, with the different factions scattered across Earth, which includes the Autobots, the Decepticons and the human race. There will be a few alliances formed, and some betrayal.
I did warn you not to trust me.
Let's break down the teams. In the blue corner, you have the Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, but not the Michael Bay Optimus. He has no connection to the humans.
You brought a human here?
He transformed into his iconic Freightliner, a 1987 FLA semi-truck. Next you have Bumblebee, back in his yellow and black striped Camaro, but now he has the off-road side. Mirage is back, but instead sporting a red Ferrari 458, he now embodies the iconic blue striped Porsche 911, which resembles more his G1 design from the cartoons, and Mirage has the ability to become a Mirage. Arcee returns back in a red and white Bugatti 916 motorcycle. Looks like she made it to Earth from the war on Cybertron. There is also Wheeljack, the new weapons specialist at the Volkswagen Type 2 bus, and Stratosphere, an air soldier, transforming into a Fairchild C-119 flying box cargo plane. Joining the Autobots are the Maximals, starting with the leader of the team, Optimus Primal, the descendant of Prime, sporting the coat of a mecha King Kong, but his robotic form is much more deadlier, with his assassin's guard and a long staff to be transformed into dual-wield sabers. By his side, his loyal companion, Cheetor, the Speedy Gonzales of the group. His animal form, you guessed it, is a cheetah. Airazor, a peregrine falcon, voiced by Everything Everywhere All at Once Michelle Yeoh, and the Hulk of the team, combining the muscles and the brain, Rhinox, taking the form of a fire-breathing rhino. And in the red corner, the new Decepticons, the Terrorcons, starting with Scourge, the villain of the film, voiced by the witty Peter Dinklage.
She's in there. Are you afraid of a dead horse?
A hunter marking his kill count, like Killmonger does in Black Panther. Scourge was created by Unicron, and he seems to resemble Optimus's robotic makeup, as he transforms into a Peter-built 359 semi-truck. In the show, through Megatron's twisted schemes, he is essentially a reprogrammed Optimus. Damn, the robots are really in disguise.
He looks an awful lot like you, Optimus.
That's because Megatron scanned me and the tanker at the same time.
Battletrap transforms into a 1980s GMW Topwick C7000 tow truck, wielding a chain mace. There's Transit, whose alt mode is a bus, and then there's Terracon Freezer, looking like a Decepticon from the Bayverse. He transforms into from the toys it looks like one of the 3 weapons. Joining them is Nightbird, a female ninja, created by the humans before joining the Decepticons, sporting a black Nissan Skyline GTR. Looks like Brian O'Connor has gone undercover again from the Fast and Furious franchise, now into the Transformers.
Shit, it's Brian.
A few OG Predacons from the Beast Wars make an appearance. Scorpinok, a moss-covered scorpion, is expected to aid Scourge in his efforts, though the major villain, the Thanos of the Transformers verse, the Planet Eater,
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
is Unicron, and he can travel the multiverse, looking for other planets to devour. And Unicron, in his robotic form, can resurrect the dead. We may see a familiar Decepticon turn up, as in the comics he is the puppet master to Megatron, using him as a vessel upgraded to Galvatron. I'm sure some aspect of time travel will appear to line up with the Bayverse continuity. I wonder how time travel will work in this movie.
Which can't now be changed by your new future.
Exactly.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Unicron appears for the post-credit scene of The Last Night as horns emerging out of the earth. There is a theory that ties in with the Bayverse that Prime is actually a reprogrammed Optimus sent back in time by Unicron as Scourge. In the Transformers Beast Wars, the Maximals jump in time to a prehistoric Earth, so we may get alteration in the timeline to have never had the events of the Shia LaBeouf trilogy.
I'm a friend of yours. I'm not a romantic friend. Romantic friends do this. I mean, I'm not that friend. I mean, I could be.
With the aspects of time-traveling robots, could we see a T-800 Terminator sent back by Skynet?
I'll be back.
The film is based in 1994, following the story of an ex-military electronics expert, Noah Diaz, and he becomes affiliated with the 3-sided war between the Cybertronians, teamed up with Elena Wallace, a museum researcher specializing in artifacts, which leads to the discovery of the transwarp keys. The keys from the mythos are used to voyage across time and space. Looks like everyone this year has a method to travel the multiverse, whether it's Flash with the Speed Force, Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, or Super Mario down the warp pipe. The Autobot team race against the Decepticons to locate the warp drives. Once Optimus realizes the importance of the war between the Maximals and the Terrorcons, leading to the final battle, where we see Unicron start to devour the planet, resulting in a massive war. The Autobots team assemble, Avengers style, and Noah gets his own exosuit, similar to Iron Man's Mark 46 suit in Civil War.
I am Iron Man.
Now Unicron is easily the strongest Transformer villain, the brother of Primus, the creator god of the Transformers. He stands for darkness and chaos. So with a multiverse threat, his story is likely to continue into this new Transformers trilogy, and hopefully we'll get more humans in exosuits.
Let's do it, guys! Right. It's morphin' time!
Transformers. With the reboot of the Transformers franchise, Rise of the Beasts is the first installment of the new trilogy, and if Cable Jr., the new director, can prove the continuity with the Brayverse, it will be a massive payoff leading up to the two sequels. The trilogy is rumoured to continue and conclude the arc of the Big Bad, Unicron, and dwell even deeper into Cybertron and the Transformers mythos. We may get more legendary Transformers joining the fight against this galactic threat. Iconic characters from the 90s Beast Wars such as Dinobot, Waspinator, and the Tyrannosaurus variant of Megatron to join the Predecons. And which 90s kid wouldn't want to see Beast Wars Primal vs Megatron on the big screen as Mecha King Kong versus Mecha Godzilla?
Run! It's Godzilla! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla!
Rise of the Beast comes to theatres on June the 9th. With a runtime of 2 hours, there will be no time for filler unless you use the warp drive to go back in time. Being the 7th film of the franchise, and a few spin-offs announced for the future, one being a fully animated Transformers film coming out in 2024. Optimus, being the face of the Transformers, will face a threat he has never faced before in his past, present and future.
Of all the threats from both your past and future, you've never faced anything like this.
And though he has died a few times throughout the films, I'm sure Prime is locked and loaded. Hey Optimus, you ready?
Let them come.
Thanks for watching, and if you're liking the content, don't forget to like and subscribe.